Yeah, I'm always amazed when people don't just upgrade to a tankless.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
they need,
yeah,
whenever I see an expansion tank, I'm like, why didn't you just go?
All right, 311 watts. Today is the 8th of September. We are not in the city main, but we are really close. You can see where it kind of where the sewer line turns left. That is the city main. We've located this section of the line out on the street. Verified that it actually is in the street. We're Terracotta right now. This should be on the city ownership side of things. So far, I'm just pulling it back and we're looking at this together for the first time. But so far, the Terracotta looks good. Give me I'm still pulling back. So we've kind of lipped up right here, and there's a transition from cast iron to terracotta. Cast iron is going to be the more rusty, built-up wall, and then there is like a dip down in that piping, which I can't show it now. So I'm too far out, but you saw the camera bump up. But it's where two dissimilar pipes connect, and the terracotta is bigger than the cast iron, so we drop down, which is fine. If it was the other way, if we dipped up, it would be an issue. But we're looking at a little bit of grime on the bottom of this pipe, just build up on the very bottom. So it's like kind of flat along that bottom. That's really just years of grease residue that's settled. Maybe going to stop right around 70 foot. We'll pause the video. We're going to just do a spot locate. Pause the video. Alright, we're back. That has been located. We're going to go ahead and pull back about 15 foot, so we're going to get a 55. We're also looking for any sort of a cavity at the top of the pipe in the hopes that we see a city clean-out connection. If it was going to be anywhere, it'd be about right here somewhere, because we're past the sidewalk now, coming back towards the home. Pipe's looking in pretty good shape for its age. I already know at minimum we're going to recommend just a cleaning of the line to get rid of these deposits along the bottom. But to be almost 100 years old, it looks pretty darn good. Alright, we're going to pause the video again and just do a spot locate here. Alright, so I want to say, from what I understood, is we're a kind of average depth, around 7 foot, which is not a fun depth to be at if you ever have to replace it, but what I'm seeing right now, nothing's... Alright, we got possible house clean out right here. So Joey located at 55 foot, 6 foot back from there, looking at a clean out, so we're gonna just kind of have to guess. Maybe we can find it, but you know, my experience tells me that was covered up back in 1922 probably. But we might get lucky. We'll go out there and poke around a little bit. So yeah, about actually that's more like 49. Yeah, 6 foot, 7 foot from where that flag was. We should find a clean out, so hopefully that's right up near the front of the home. So that's what that cavity is at the top right. Bump right there. It's a good, you know, example of that grease buildup kind of causing one of these pools right here. And then when you see a pool like this, you know that water slows down and it causes more grease coagulation, and then you end up having a problem. But it's really not that bad especially for a 100-year-old line. inlet right there that I'm guessing that's probably coming from the other side of the home. There's a main line running behind the retainer wall, crawl space portion of the basement, and there's also a floor level area drain. Those probably come in together and Y in the line, so that would make sense. That would be right here. Alright, some more grease coagulation on the sides. Pretty typical, but there's another inlet right here. Something there. So I'll do this to me. Alright, we're gonna pause the video. Alright, so we got stuck in the line, and what I thought looked like the bottom of the line was missing. Turns out that I believe that that's the case. Really hard to see something like that, but I tried running water for a while. We're way down deep, and you can kind of see those ridges to the right and left where this water level is, and then the camera literally just drops off completely. So the sewer line doesn't drop off, it's kind of continuing straight, but we're dropping off. So I'm 100% positive that the bottom of this pipe is gone. So I kind of have to change my tune a little bit on what I recommend a cleaning. For one, we can't clean it, because this would be our access point, and I would be putting a cable machine through a line that's already broken, so I'd probably get that head stuck, get the cable machine stuck. But then once I made it past that line, you can pretty much put together that if this section of the cast iron line has the bottom rotted out of it, the other portion of the cast iron line, which is just as old as the one we just looked at, probably is right behind it, and putting a mainline machine down it like I typically would suggest probably wouldn't be a good idea. So I'm actually going to suggest sewer line replacement. It is a very deep dig. It's feasible, but it would require busting up some concrete in the basement. It would be a sizable project, because then we have to figure out how we're going to get on the other side of the retaining wall. So I'm going to have to think on it a little bit, but I'm going to suggest replacement of this line now that I see the bottom rotting out over a decent sized chunk of it. And I mean, we are talking about a 100-year-old sewer line or close to it, so it's not surprising. I was actually surprised that it was in as good a shape as we saw initially, but now I have to retract that statement. So, alright, end the video.